Hey everyone, welcome back to my workbench. For tonight, I'm going to do a quick visual inspection on this Jaguar CD. You see I already got the top cover off. It's showing no power at the rear port, which is apparently a very common issue with Jaguar CD. I'm going to work on this a little bit, and if I get too stuck, I got a Sega Nomad I need to start working on too. Let's see if we can find a way into this thing. And of course it's the torque bit that's missing. Why wouldn't it be? Let's see. Actually it's Allen's, but usually you can get a torque bit work quite nice on there too. What the heck are you? So that's a T8 bit. Just going to do a quick visual. Something fell. A quick visual on this one and to see if I can spot something. Oh, there must be a nut behind there. And I got two Phillips holding the cartridge slot. Alright, show you what we can find over here. These nice little magnetic trays I capture parts in. I think I got them free from Harbor Freight. Yeah, there were a couple of nuts in there. Let's pop these off. Two. And where are the other two? Still stuck. Okay. Missing a nut somewhere. There it is. Oh, it's random bits of metal from when I was doing the HDMI jack. And they have this really super crude reed switch for the see if the CD door is closed. Which I was surprised. It's a little on the simplistic side, but it works. Put the housing somewhere else. Alright. Jaguar over here. Guess I want to power it up. Let's do a quick visual. Everything's nice and clean. It's just a straight pass through for the cartridge. Regulators look okay. Everything's plugged in all right. Don't see anything terribly obvious other than a little bit of yellowing by this one capacitor up here, which is a little unusual. Let's see. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Almost looks like a leaked electrolytic by the look of it. Let's see if there's any other flux going on here. That looks odd. just a spindle. Yeah, it looks a little weird, and then there's a small, that C75 next to it. And you can see splatter there and there. Well, that's interesting. Other than that, let's take a quick visual. That's gotta be the main filter cap for the board coming in here, because that's your power coming along. Or maybe it's a ground. Maybe it's a center post ground. We'll take a look in a minute. Or that's the 5-volt plane. I'm not sure. No, let's see. Yeah, that's the 5 volts coming in there. Comes in on this pin here. Then that's a via right there, and that via comes up right. Get your focus back. That's the via coming through here. And that's your main filter cap, and that's your ground plane here. I don't like the look of that. Let me see if what's measuring. Let's see. It is rated for 10 microfarad, 25 volts. Just about right for a filter cap. Let's see. See what kind of capacitance we're getting on this. Multimeter. Capacitance. This side. Well, now a whole lot of now a whole lot of capacitance getting read there. Hold on, let me see if it's got conformal on there or not. Takes a little while for these caps to charge. 0.21 nanofarads. It doesn't seem quite right to me. It's only 1,000 times too small. Well, 500 times too small. So most likely it's that main filter cap went. And there's 2 other small caps next to it. Let's see if we're picking up anything there. Man, they are not holding the charge at all. This might be conformally coated, so I gotta poke through it. Nothing. A little bit there. Picking up a little capacitance off the other little guys, but this big one here, I think that might be the problem. It looks like it leaked. The rest of the caps actually look fairly decent. I'm not seeing a problem with the rest of the caps on here. I'm going to have to take off this assembly here to get at the I want to go through and replace all the caps on here, but it looks like that is the main offender. So I'm going to pop that first and then move on from there. It looks like that's the first casualty here. I'll go through and replace a couple of caps first, and then I'll try powering up again. Alright, well, let's put that aside a minute. Okay, so next up we have a Sega Nomad. This is probably the 6th or 7th Nomad I've done so far. It's one of my more popular mods I've had the pleasure of doing. This one is getting a lot done to it, and plus something new I haven't done before. So just to show you on this guy, even for a Nomad, this one has a particularly worn screen. The volume's still decent, so the caps have to be halfway decent, but I could see a couple sections of screen burn, and the bleeding's really bad on it too. So this screen's pretty much shot. I mean, it doesn't look that horrible in the video, but it's very uneven, and you can see a bit of burn on the screen too in the darker areas. Yeah, this poor screen has no sharpness left on it at all. It's one of the worst ones I've seen in terms of wear. I mean, the controls are nice and responsive, so it's working okay. Buttons are good. My little 9-volt supply is running it just fine, so doesn't seem to have any major issues. Just the screen is pretty much, yeah, it's pretty rough. Not that the Nomads had a great screen to begin with. They've always been pretty horrible. I'll do a side-by-side one of these days with my links to show you the difference. It's just this doesn't have any sharpness at all. Though the Nomad is one of the more interesting backlights I've seen. There's actually looks like a high output LED strip, and then there's a transflective screen surface behind it. Kind of cool. I'll show you when I open it up. This mod is going to be a little different because the person that sent it to me sent all the parts. I don't care if you buy the parts, because I don't make money on parts anyway, to be honest with you. I don't mark up any parts. I just charge you what they charge me. So, but if you want to buy your own parts, that's fine with me. It means less of me buying. So this one's going to be battery packs. This is a rechargeable pack. I'm going to do my my battery pack mod for this one. And then this is a conventional AA battery pack, and I hope I can fit in. Yeah, it'll still fit. It'll be tight, but I should be able to fit it in. A battery LiPo mod for that one. Console 5. Apparently, I'm the guinea pig of Console 5. They sent me their latest bracket for the for their large LCD screen. I usually go with the small screen because it's easier to work with. This one's the larger one. One of the holes was a little bit off, so I'm going to be modding that. So this one's going to have a complete recap, and it's going to have a new LCD, and it's going to have bunch of LiPo batteries. And it's going to have, this speaker upgrade. And this is, I always like these. This is the glass screen replacement for the plastic cover. These are really nice because they don't scratch at all. They're mineral glass as opposed to plastic, and you can even see in this one, probably not that well smooth, but there are a couple scratches. You see upper left quadrant there? That's a scratch on the screen on the cover. So again, new speaker, new glass cover, new LCD. Oh, and this is the unique one that I haven't done. Actually, I'm going to end up doing two. I'm going to be adding a controller 1 port to it, and I'm going to be adding a on-off button for turning the internal LCD screen backlight off. So this will be able to work as a Genesis. But the cool thing is, I'm going to put in, if I have the room, I'm going to be putting in a second controller jack on here. It'll tap into the joystick controller circuit. The nice thing is I found these really neat new old stock black plastic DB9s, so it'll match really nicely, and mill out a nice little, if I got a spot here. I'm not sure if I have a spot here, if it has to be a little further over. I can't remember where, but you'll see I'll cut out a nice hole for it for controller 1, and I'll wire in the controls into here. I don't know if I need to add or subtract a 5-volt line. I have a switch on there or not. I'll figure out when I get in there. The literature I can find online is a little bit vague, to be honest with you, so I'm not entirely 100% sure. So, in case you ever take one of these bad boys apart, first thing you do is get the crap off your workbench. Give yourself room to work. By the way, I'm a little bit of a slob, which doesn't help. Probably a lot of bit of a slob according to my wife, but